everyone, welcome to my Thursday Night Live. I'm April Davis, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. I live in Spring Hill, Kansas. This Facebook Live is recorded, so it's Wednesday, November 29th. When you actually see this, it will be Thursday, November 30th. But I'm going to be traveling tomorrow, and so won't be able to be with you live. So I thought it would be great if I could go ahead and get it recorded ahead of time so that come Thursday at 7 p.m. when you're ready to watch my Thursday Night Live, I will be there. I will just be recorded. So this is a to-go class. What the to-go class is I'm going to show you 3 different cards that I'm going to make tonight, and then you have the option to get those cards to go for free. So I'm going to show you really quickly where you go to get that information. You'll go to my website, and I'm going to go ahead and pull that up for you right now. You go to aprildaviscreations.com. It will take you to my website, and then basically you're going to go to go classes. When you get to go classes and you scroll down, it will give you all the information that you need for my to go classes. You will need to use the host code so that I know that you're interested in the to-go class for free. You'll get it free if you place a $40 order or more in my online store. I actually, if you have an order of $50 or more in my online store, you will receive either a packet of, these are iridescent rhinestone jewels, so you'll get those for free, and or you will get the rhinestone basic jewels for free. You'll get one or the other for free for an order of $50 or more. And remember, you do need to use the host code. Let me pull this down, and I'm going to put the host code up just so it's easier for you to see. Basically, you're going to get enough supplies to create 6 cards, 2 of each of the 3 cards that I've got. I don't do any of the stamping, but I do all the cutting for you if it's not part of the bundle. So we are featuring the Merriest Trees bundle. I'll go into that a little bit more in just a second, but we are utilizing the Merriest Tree bundle. Anything that's in the bundle I won't provide to you, but I do provide all the card stock. If there's anything that is die cut or punched that is not part of the bundle, I absolutely provide all of that. And you get your kits. Your kits will come to you basically looking like this, with everything included, including your envelope, because of course it's fun to share your creations, and when you share your creations, you're creating happiness. So let me go ahead and move away from this. I think the last thing that I wanted to mention is that orders need to be placed by December the 4th, and then I will have them cut the December 5th, and hopefully have them shipped out to you on December the 6th. It also includes a PDF tutorial. So you'll have the kit, you'll have the PDF tutorial, and you'll also have the recording from this Facebook Live. I post it to Facebook, so it's easy to find. So let me go ahead and get things set up so that I can get switched and get you to where we are working. I'm gonna take the host code down. And we are working from the Merriest Trees catalog, or we're working from the mini catalog. We're working with the Merriest Trees bundle in that mini catalog. This is the second week that I've used the Merriest Trees. We're going to do some different cards tonight. I just wanted to point out that it is a bundle, so when you get the stamps and the dies together, you get a 10% discount. And I just keep my dies with my stamps. They come separately, but I keep them all together so that they're easier for me to locate. The other thing that I want to point out while I'm in the catalog, and I believe it's on page 34, it's the first card that we're going to be making. You can buy brushed gold cards and envelopes. They're right here, but I have them in front of me as well. These are the envelopes. These are the brushed cards that come with it. And actually, one of the cards that I'm making today, I'm going to be using these cards and envelopes. Now, I will include these in the kit. for you as well. But I wanted you to see that it's fun to be able to create a card utilizing supplies in the catalog as well. So let me show you then what it is that we're making tonight. First of all, we have this card that is made with the brush card envelope or note card that I showed you. So we'll be making this one up first, and then we've got one where I've decided to go a little rogue with my color, and we are going to use the Bubble Bath Pink color for this particular one. Let me see if I can come in just a little bit closer for you so you guys get a better view of what we're doing. And then the last card we're going to do is a layered card, and I'm going to do a few things different with this, and we'll get to it in just a second, but you can see how the background is embossed on this one, as is the background. Let me see if you can see this a little bit better. Can you see the snow background on this one? So we're going to have some fun with that, but we're going to start with this card first. So let me pull that kit out. I had it right here, but I put all my note cards on top of it. So I need to pull it out real quick. It's right here. And the one thing that I don't have for it that I need, give me 1 second. I just need to figure out where my paper is. I need a card base. So let me pull out my card base real quick and we can take it from there. So we've got the card base, which is in the basic white. And then inside of this, we've got, what I did is I took the note card and I cut it in half. So I'm using half of the note card. So basically with one note card, I'm able to make 2 cards. Then in addition, I went ahead and because we're gonna be doing some stamping and cutting, I've got 3 pieces of basic white for our trees. Let me zoom back in just a little bit so that I can fit all this in. We've got that for our trees, and then we've got our decorations that we're going to be utilizing. That is from our, I'm sorry, I've got it right here. I can't remember what it's called, but it's one of my favorite, the Distressed Gold specialty paper. So I went ahead and cut all of this ahead of time so that wouldn't take up any time for us. So let me put these off to the side because we are going to be utilizing them. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with our stamping. And our stamping, of course, is on our trees. And these trees are going to be stamped in Lost Lagoon. So we've got our stamp. This is as a photopolymer stamp tree, and I just want to show you how big this stamp is compared to how big these trees are. So if you count the layers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers on this stamp. The tree has 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3. How we do that is you use the stamp, but then inside you've got the various layers to the tree. So I'm going to pull out my 3 layer that we're going to cut out, and I'm also going to pull out my 4 layer, and that's how we'll create those size trees basically from one stamp. So let's go ahead and get our stamping done first. Get my Lost Lagoon here. I'm going to pull these out of the way just so that I don't get anything into them. And I'm going to stamp obviously on my piercing mat again because this is a photopolymer stamp. It doesn't have a lot of cushion to it. So let's go ahead and get this stamped up, or inked up I should say. And I don't have to do the whole stamp. I'm just going to do part of the stamp, but I'm going to get it inked up, and I'm going to put my cardstock down, and I'm just going to stamp. And it's going to be stamping off obviously just because I don't have a piece of paper big enough to cover the whole tree. I don't need a piece of paper big enough. All I need is enough that I can get my 4 layers. So we're going to do it again. I'm going to do another layer of 4. Get this one stamped. Oop. Yeah, I'm just double checking. When I look through, I'm not going to really pay attention to this part of it. What I'm paying attention to is my 4 layers. So when I first noticed it, I'm like, uh-oh, I've done something wrong, but I really haven't because I'm not going to utilize that part. So there's my second one. And then the next one is a 3-layer. It's a smaller tree. So I'm just going to work on the 3 layers and get that stamped. Put this away. I'm going to pull out some baby wipes simply because I forgot to bring over my simple chamois when I got started. So we'll just use baby wipes instead. And I'll clean off this stamp. Okay, stamp's all nice and clean. Now I'm ready to do, let me see, no other stamping on this particular card. So now I'm ready to cut. So I'm going to bring in my cut and emboss, my mini cut and emboss. The appropriate trays to make my sandwich. And I'm gonna take my first die for my 4-layer. And let me just pull out some low tack adhesive tape just to hold my die down. Get this lined up. Okay, that's where I want it. So I'm going to go ahead and crank it through my, well, it moved just a little bit, of course, as soon as I put that on there. So let me straighten that back up again just to be on the safe side. It doesn't want to, it's tacked down, so it doesn't want to move. It just, all right, very good. Now let's crank it through. Okay, so we'll send this one through. And I'm going to move to my next one. It's also a 4-layer. So let me remove this tape. Set that off to the side. I'll get my next 4-layer here. And I'm going to go ahead and put the sandwich back up here. Bring my 4-layer over. Get it lined up as well. Out enough that I can get my top layer in, crank it through, and then we'll just have one more tree to cut. We're cutting down Christmas trees today. All right, so there's our second one. Let me get rid of these, and now I'm going to switch dies, and I'm going to go to my 3-layer die. And I'm going to cut the top 3 layers. So how fun to be able to make large trees, which we're going to do today, or the smaller trees using the same stamp. It's the exact same stamp. The only thing is that we're switching out the dies. Let me see. I think I'm good with that. I feel like I'm seeing too much white on this one side, and so as a result, I want to move it over just a little bit. Because if I have too much white on one side, then that means I don't have enough white on the other side. All right, let's go ahead and move this through. Yeah, we're good. I was looking to make sure that my plate, the bottom plate, it wasn't even. It's not a problem that it's not even, but if you don't have it even with the die, then you potentially have a die that won't cut. So now we have our 3 trees. Let me move this out of the way, get my die put away, move this out of the way, and then we will start to assemble our tree or our card. So I'm going to go ahead and do this piece first, and then we can adhere it to our card base. But the 2 bigger trees are just going to be adhered flat to the note card base, which is what we're eventually going to adhere to the main card base. So I'm just going to go ahead and put some glue on that. And we're going to position it about right here, I think. Maybe a little bit closer to the edge. It's the nice part about glue is if I don't get it exactly where I want it to go, I can move it. So we're going to do that. And then I'm going to get the next tree. We'll get it here down. And then once we get our trees down, then we get to start decorating. So I'm actually gonna move this tree over a little bit so that it is overlapping the other one by just a tiny little bit. It's not gonna make a big difference because I'm going to actually put this tree on with dimensionals. So let me get my dimensionals out. I have them right here. My handy dandy tweezers that I like to use for my dimensionals. And I'll go ahead and get them on this tree. There we go. And we're going to take this tree and we are going to center it over the other two trees. Down at the bottom, but we're just going to center it. So now we've got a little grove of trees, and now they need to be decorated. We're basically just going to decorate the smaller of the three trees. So let me pull out my garland right here. And the way that these trees are set up is the garland actually matches the layers of the tree. So as I turn this around, and I've only got on my, on my first card, I've only got 3 layers of garland. I think I'm gonna do 3 layers as well, but I'm gonna try to well, I guess I'm probably gonna end up stretching it that way. I was just looking to see if I could maybe get a 3rd one in since I've got plenty, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to get them to fit. So all I do is I put just a tiny bit of glue on the back of my garland. That one's got a little bit more on it than I want. So, and then I'm going to take my tweezers and I'm going to go ahead and put down my garland. Hold it for just a second, and then I can go to my next piece, and you can see how this garland is different lengths. If you look at it, it kind of looks like the tree. I'm going to go ahead and angle mine. You can put them straight across as well if you choose to, but I kind of like the angling part of it, so I go ahead and do that. But let me go ahead and get this garland down. And again, we're just going to curve it up just a little bit. I'm going to take it to about right here. Hold it down for just a second for the glue to adhere. And then I'll take this next piece, and I think this next piece is going to go about right here. So let's go ahead and get glue on it. And then we'll finish decorating with our stars that we've got. So let me take this one and apply it here. There we go. I'll put these off to the side. We can use those for another card. And then I have all of these little stars. So what we're going to do with the stars, I'm going to turn them all the right way, is we're going to place them on top of the trees. So let me fix that one. Okay, and I want to make sure that there's no more in my envelope because I feel like I'm missing one star. Oh, I am, see? Okay, so here's my other star. So let's start by putting the stars on top of the trees. So I'm going to put little dots on the tops of the trees, little dots of glue, and then I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool, and the Take Your Pick tool has a piercing end, but it also has a putty end. I'm going to use this putty end to pick up my star and place it on top of my tree. So I'll place it on top of the tree there. This one goes on top of this tree. Make sure it adheres. And then I'll take this one and put it on top of this tree. And then I can take the pointy end, the pick end, and move it around to where I want it. So I've got my stars on there, and now I have 3 additional stars that I'm actually going to put up in the sky. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put a drop of glue here, I'm going to put a drop of glue over here, and I'm going to put a drop of glue down here. And then do the same thing, pick up my stars. I'm going to put the big one here, and then I can use my take your pick to kind of press it down. And then we'll take this one and put it here on this glue dot. And then I'll take this one and I'm going to pick it up and put it over here. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get my card base ready while that glue is drying. And I'll bring it in, fold it in half, and my bone folder should be in here. It is. I just got to pull it out. And I'm going to go ahead and burnish this edge down so it lays flat. And then we'll go ahead and put glue. I'm going to double check this. Yeah, it's going to actually, I think the other one I cut down cut down just a little bit. And I'll show you the difference here in just a second. But this one is going to go edge to edge. So you can cut it down so there's a wide edge showing from your card base. Or if you don't want the wide edge from your card base because you like how pretty this base is, you can just glue it down to your card base, edge to edge. And now it looks like this is the front of your card. So let me get that even all the way around. Okay. So the last thing I'm going to do now, because this card is almost done, I'm going to bring out my rhinestones. And I'm going to take the rhinestones, and I'm looking for the smaller ones. And I'm going to put them in the center of my star. So I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool so that I can pick these up. And I'm going to take these and I'm going to put them in the center of my stars. So we have this one. I need to move it just a little bit. Okay. And then we'll do this one. And then I might be able to graduate into some larger ones here in just a second. So the stars on the trees have the little rhinestones. And then I'm going to go to the medium-sized rhinestones for our stars in the sky. So let me get this. It doesn't want to flip over for me. So we'll do that. And I'm going to move it just a little bit. The glue is still drying. Okay. And then we'll do another one here. And our last one. So this card has a lot of bling on it. A lot of bling. I'll move these off to the side. But this card's done. And look at the pretty sparkle on it. Simple, easy, but look how pretty it is. So that's card number 1. We've got that one done. Let me clean up and I'm going to bring in card number 2 so we can get started on that. Let me put this bling away. And we will move to card number 2. So card number 2 is going to be the Bubble Bath Pink card. All right, so let me move these out of the way. And we're going to bring in our Bubble Bath Pink card. And basically what I've done here is I've got the ivory cardstock, and then I got a piece of Bubble Bath cardstock. Then I've taken another piece of ivory, and I have, or it's vanilla, very vanilla. I've taken that and I've embossed it with our Snowflake Sky 3D embossing folder. I've used that a lot in the videos. It's been a fun folder to use. It just leaves such a fun look. So we've got that. Then I've got a piece of Very Vanilla for the tree. And then of course I've got all the bling for the tree as well. So let me pull out everything that's in here. And remember, so items like the tree base and the garland and the stars that we're going to make, these are all part of the bundle. So I will provide you with cardstock so that with your bundle, you're able to die cut these pieces out. This bubble bath and very vanilla piece are going to be our sentiment, so we'll get to that in just a second. I'm actually going to move the rest of this off to the side. We'll decorate the tree later. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp our tree. So I'm going to bring my piercing mat back in. I've got my tree here. And one of the things, you know, sometimes I change things up. I've created the card the first time, and now I'm going to change it up just a little bit. Not a lot, but I want to use an additional stamp that has the detail to the tree, so you can kind of see the pine leaves or the pine needles, if you will. It just gives that dimension to the tree. When I did it on this one, it shows up, but it shows up very lightly. I don't even know if you guys can see it. Maybe you can, but it shows up very lightly. So I'm thinking to myself, I didn't want to go to a different color. I'm still going to use my Bubble Bath ink. But what I'm going to do this time around, just to see how it works, so we're experimenting together, is I'm going to stamp off. So I'm going to go ahead and get my tree all inked up, and we're using the full tree. It's all 5 layers, but I'm going to go ahead and get the tree all inked up. And the other thing that I'm looking at when I ink this tree is I want to make sure that I don't have any lines in it, because the ink pad cannot necessarily cover the entire tree. I want to make sure that I'm not leaving any lines, and it's easier to see when I'm using a darker color. So that's why I'm kind of tilting it a little bit, but I think we're good. I'm going to move the ink off to the side so I don't get it in my way. I'm going to very gently stamp off, and then I'm going to come back in with my cardstock now, and I'm going to stamp again. And I will be die cutting this out. But what I want is I want a lighter color of my bubble bath. And it's definitely lighter, but let's go with it. I mean, I have another side to this piece of cardstock. So if I need to, we can stamp it in the dark, you know, with one generation instead of a second generation. But let's just see where we go with this. So I'm going to go ahead and clean the stamp off for now. And I'm going to take the detailed stamp, take my ink again, and I'm going to ink this up. And like I said, I'm experimenting with you, because this isn't how I did it when I created it. So it is a little bit harder to see, to get it lined up because it is so light, but let's go with it. We're gonna get it to work. I'm gonna go ahead and come down, stamp in my detail. I'll make sure I get a good connection and pull it up. It's definitely a lighter tree. I'm going to go with it. I actually like it. I know it's a little bit harder to see and it's not as dark, but you know, I'm still going to be putting decorations on it, and we'll just compare the two together, and then you guys can let me know when you watch the video which one you actually ended up liking better. So now we've got this. I need to go ahead and get it cut out. So I'm going to bring the larger, the 5-layer die in, pull back out my cut and emboss and my sandwich pieces. And I've got this tape that I utilized before that I'm going to reuse. Get this lined up the way that it needs to be. Let me see, slide it that way a little bit. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put this down, get it on my plate. I'm just trying to make sure I think I'm good. All right, so let's go ahead and crank this through. All right, move this out of the way. Pull this tape off. And now we have our tree. Actually, I think I like it. All right, we're gonna keep going. It's definitely lighter than the other one was. I have one more thing that I need to stamp before I put my my ink away. And that is the sentiment, love and joy. I'm going to go ahead and do this in full first generation. Get this centered in here as best I can. Sorry if my head's in the way. It's such a little stamp. Okay, we've got that. Let me go ahead and get this cleaned. Did I clean this one off too? I think I did, but I'll just do it again just to be on the safe side. All right, so let's put the ink away. We don't want to get any messy ink on us. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the sentiment with a little bit of glue, and I'm going to glue it to my little bubble bath pink strip. Center it so it's got a little bit of a border around it, and then we'll set it off to the side because now it is time to start decorating the tree. So let me move this off to the side, bring my tree back in, bring my pieces back in. And one of the things that I wanted to ask you guys about is, again, when I did this, my tree star is 2 pieces, but it's gold and there's just not a lot of definition. I can see it. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. I try to tilt it so you can see it, but we've got some definition there. What I was thinking about doing, and let me see, where's my, I feel like, oh, it was in my hand. I was looking for it. What I was thinking about doing is I cut the star in the bubble bath. I was thinking about taking the gold and putting it on top of the bubble bath and doing it that way. I really like that. I can already tell that I like that. So give me just a second. I thought, yeah, I do. I have my little silicone mat here since I'm going to be doing some gluing. I wanted to go ahead and put my silicone mat down so that I could glue on it. I haven't cleaned it from the last time I glued on it. But I'm going to go ahead and just put a few little dots around the star. It doesn't need to be a lot. Get my fingers away from it. Glue is sticky. And then I think what I'm going to do to help me out is I'm going to take my take your pick and I'm going to have it help me get this star centered right on this piece of gold. And then once I have it down and it adheres, then I can work it a little bit more to make sure that it's centered. Okay, ooh, I'm really gonna like this. I'm going so rogue on this card. Okay, so let's bring the tree back in now. And one of the things that we're going to put on it is its tree base. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue along the back side of the tree. Doesn't need to be a lot, just enough to catch the tree base. And then once I get it here, then I can turn it around and double check to make sure that I've got it centered appropriately and it's even. Okay, so we've got that. So let's go ahead and start doing our garland. And it's the same thing. I'm going to line these up. The largest is going on the bottom. And so this is the second to the largest. And we're not going to use these stars. We've got this one and this one. So we're going to start with the smallest. Again, I'm just going to take glue and start decorating. It's the same process all the way down. Not hard. Takes just a little bit of time to get it done. So while I'm doing this, the trip that I'm taking this weekend is it's called Clover Cliff Ranch, and it is, it's actually a working ranch, but it's also a bed and breakfast. They have, it's in western Kansas. It's in Elmsdale, Kansas. It's on the other side of Emporia, for those of you that are local. And they have buffalo, and so you've got these rolling hills of Kansas, and these hundreds of heads of buffalo. My girlfriend and I went last year. Did I not glue on that? My girlfriend and I went last year and had so much fun that we decided we wanted to go again this year, and we extended it by a day. So we're leaving tomorrow after work, and we will be back on Sunday. So what do? We craft. We package up all of our crafting supplies. We've got, plans of what we're working on, and we package everything up and we take it with us. And then we set up in this little cabin. It's so cute. It's got just a very comfy little living room with a fireplace, and the kitchen's darling. And it's a fun place to be. She and I, we've been friends since junior high school. And she's an avid crafter just like I am, and we craft all weekend long. And because it's a bed and breakfast, that we have to walk up to the main house, but they have amazing breakfasts. So we get breakfast, and then we come back to the cabin and we work. And then if we, need to stretch our legs, we go out and take a walk. I know it'll be a little brisk because the cold weather has finally arrived. We can check out the buffalo. Sometimes the buffalo come up to the gate to check you out, but they also have a longhorn steer. I don't know. It's not a cow. I don't know. Anyway, it's got long horns, and it's a family pet. Its name is Cupid. He loves to have little treats provided to him. He's kind of sloppy. He's really slobbery, but his horns, I don't know. I might be exaggerating a little bit, but I'm not exaggerating much. I bet they're 3 feet on each end. So like out one side of his head, 3 feet, out the other side of his head, 3 feet. He's got long horns. They're not like short horns, they're long horns. So anyway, we have a lot of fun. So I'm really looking forward to that trip again this year. We had so much fun last year. We did it again this year. Oh, I love this tree. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn it over, and I've got, the nice part about the silicone mat is that if you do have glue on it, and I actually was working on another project and I didn't get it cleaned up, you just roll the glue right off of it. And then I can take my baby wipe and I can actually wipe it up to clean it up. I'm doing this because I'm going to turn my tree over as I'm putting dimensionals on it, and I just want to make sure I had a clean mat. I guess I could do it on my surface as well, but that's how you clean the silicone mat if you ever need to clean it. All right, dimensionals. Let's get our dimensionals going. We're going to get them on the base. And then each part of the tree. So I'm going to just kind of go up the sides of the tree. I'm probably going to use a little dimensional, a mini dimensional, I should say, on the star. So let me go ahead. I think I need another one over here. I like stability, and so I use a lot of dimensionals. Let me find my little ones. That's a big one. Here's my mini. Let me take my mini here, and I'm going to put it right here at the top for the star. All right, let's move these out of the way. I don't do this often, but I thought that I would show you anyway, since I've got your Take Your Pick out, that you can use your Take Your Pick to help remove the backs to your dimensionals. So you just pick and pull, and the backs to the dimensionals come off. I don't know why I don't do it more often, but I was watching someone else crafting the other day on YouTube, and they were doing this, and I'm like, I don't know why I don't do that. It makes it so much easier. So I've got a couple more to go, but it pulls them right off. There we go. Wasn't that fast? See, you didn't have to wait nearly as long for me this time. All right, so let's go ahead and get this centered on our piece of cardstock that has been embossed with the snow. I showed you that embossing folder when we first started. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my tree lined up. Make sure I think that's so pretty. Actually, I like this one way better. You guys can weigh in and tell me what you think, but because I stamped off and I used a second generation tree, I feel like it gave it more of an antique-y kind of look, a Victorian kind of look. So let's go ahead and get this piece centered on the bubble bath card base. Everything's even there. And then the last part is to add it to our main card base, the very vanilla card base. Okay, so we're gonna glue this again. Oh, and I promised my mom I would tell her hello. I know we're recording, this isn't live, but hi Mom, good to see you. So glad you were able to join us. I always love it when Mom joins. Plus, I love it when the others join. And that's the one thing that I'm missing tonight. It's like I look up and there's no comments. You guys can comment after the fact. I will respond back to you, especially to let me know whether or not you enjoy this. Let me see if I've got my adhesive eraser, because I feel like I've got adhesive on here. Not so much. Doesn't look like I have an adhesive eraser here for me right now. It's not bad. I felt a little bit of adhesive. But the last thing we need to do is we're going to add our sentiment. I'm going to add it over here. Now, because the tree is popped up, I'm only going to add a dimensional to this side because it's not popped up. But this side, this is already popped up. So all I need to do is put a little bit of glue on that. So let me bring out, let me see, what size dimensional do I want? Do I want a big one? Yeah, big one's going to work fine. So we'll put that up. I'm going to put a little bit of glue here. Watch this. I'm going to use my take your pick and take off my little backing. Okay, so we got that done. So I'm going to bring this over here, and I think what I want to do is line this up so that the very vanilla lines up with the edge of the very vanilla embossed piece. So let me make sure I've got this straight. It looks like it's straight to me. And this card's done. Oh my gosh. I like this one so much. The first one you can see, let me pull these down just a little bit. You can see it's pinker. This one is not as pink, but I hope you guys can see it in the camera. But it just looks very, Victorian. I love the lighter pink, and I really like that I did the star in pink. So this second card now is done with a little bit of a deviation, if you will. All right, let's move that off to the side. And then the last card that we're going to do is this one. So for this one, you've got your basic white cardstock. I have some designer series paper that came from the Berry Christmas series. I'm going to be using this paper. You can see like there's little speckles in it. So I'm going to go ahead and die cut that. Then I have a piece of Night of Navy cardstock that we're going to place here. And then I've also got a piece of basic white cardstock again, that the first thing I'm going to do is stamp my sentiment in the top, and then we're going to run it through the embosser, my cut and emboss. And we are going to emboss it with the Stars of Night emboss folder. So let's go ahead and get our sentiment set up, and we're going to pull out the Night of Navy ink. I need my little stamp pad again. We're going to stamp, hoping your home is filled with the spirit of the season. So let's go ahead and do this. And I'm going to get it all inked up. I want to make sure I get it good. Look what I did. I already got it on the edge. I must be doing some tipping lately. I don't know why. But when you're inking up your stamp, it's just tap, 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 up and down. For what, look, see? as soon as I did that, I started getting ink all over me. Oh my goodness. So I have to lead by show you what you should not be doing so that you can learn from me how messy this gets if you do that. Okay, so I think I've got it off of me. I've got it off my block, my ink block. Let's try this again. And I'm going to show you the right way to do it. Straight up and down. Tap, tap, tap. Make sure you're covered. Yep, it's covered. I'm going to go up to the top of this and I'm going to, I'm hoping it's straight. Stamp it. Yay. Okay, so let me clean this off. I'm also going to close up my ink pad, but I just wanted to show you I have ink on my ink pad too. I'm really a mess. All right, so let's get this closed up. Do we have all the ink off? Yes, we do. Okay, all is good. So next step, we're going to put this into the embossing folder. And I need to bring in my big, oh my goodness, it's so heavy. My big Stampin' Cut and Emboss, because my embossing folder is larger, so I have to use the larger one. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to line this up. Do I want it to go this way or do I want it to go this way? I think I'm going to line it up so that my stars are longer than wider. If I go the other direction, my stars are going to be wider. So I want my stars to be long. So the sandwich for this is just the main base and then the gray top. So we'll get that lined up and then all I need to do is crank it through. Okay, so let's go ahead and move this out of the way. Move my sandwich out of the way. And then we can pull this out. Yay! And look how pretty it is. Okay, we're gonna start, I am gonna start cutting the tree out of this designer series paper. I'm gonna pull back out not only these, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 layers, but I only have 3 layers here, so I need to pull out the other 2 layers. Oh, almost lost my tag. All right, so let's put this back in. Here's another layer and another layer. Okay. And then just to show you, I'm going to put this layer back. This piece cuts your garland, but I don't have any garland on this tree, so we're not worried about that. And then I believe I went ahead and cut, I'm pretty sure I did. Oh, I did. Let me show you because I didn't pull all the rest of this out. I cut the base and the little baubles that we're going to hang on the tree ornaments. I cut them out of the Be Dazzling specialty paper. This is a specialty paper in the main catalog, so you can get that, but I went ahead and cut it out of that. And then the other thing that I did is I cut out the star, and I'm going to go a little rogue. I'm going rogue on this card as well. You'll see there's several things that I'm doing. That's just a piece that popped out of the star, so I don't need that piece. So let's move it out of the way. Get my baubles all set up here. What I did is I thought maybe what I might want to do is take my star and put navy behind it instead of put that gold behind it again to help it to pop out. So we'll do that in just a second. I need to get my tree cut, but I wanted to get my baubles I wanted to get my baubles out of the way, my ornaments out of the way. So let's move this out of the way. And then we are going to make sure I didn't leave anything in the envelope. I've got all my pieces down, but I was going to show you, this was the garland. These pieces right here are the baubles or the ornaments. And so fortunately, I was able to cut all the ornaments for the tree in just one cut because we have several pieces. And then of course you can see the other pieces that we've got for like the stars, that we had. So everything's all inclusive, which makes it really, really nice. So I'm gonna put that off to the side. Now I'm gonna bring back my mini cut and emboss, and we are going to start cutting the tree layers. So bring my sandwich back in. And the good news is that there doesn't have to be any rhyme or reason. In fact, I think what I'm gonna do, give me just a second. I might change my mind on using my mini. I might wanna pull out my big one again. Yes, that's exactly what I wanna do. All right, we're putting the mini up. We're gonna bring out the big one because then I don't have to cut out each one individually. I can just cut them all out at the same time. So the big one comes back. Put this off to the side, and I gotta get the right sandwich going. My main plate. I've got some my cardstock under here. My main plate, and then we have our plate number 2, and then I have plate number 3, and then my top plate. So let's go ahead and get these on here. I don't even think I'm gonna have to tape them down. The reason I'm saying all of this is because I'm cutting on a piece of paper that it doesn't really matter to me how they're positioned. I just need to get them cut out. So I'm gonna put my top plate on, make sure I've got everything the way that I need it to be. I wanna make sure, yep, that one's on. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna crank it through and we're gonna cut them all out in one swipe. Oh, or one cut. No worries, that was my stand. I just knocked it over with my plates. All right, so let's pull this over. Make sure, I hope one of my plates moved, so I'm not sure I got a good cut. I didn't. All right, when this happens to you, so what happened is my bottom plate was out, which meant that I didn't have the right layers going. So here's how we're gonna fix this. We do know we got several that did cut. So let me go ahead and get those pieces off the cutting plate. Excuse me. But as you can see for this one, it didn't cut all the way through. And the reason for that is because my plate number 2 was not even. And so I didn't get the same thickness on it. So I am going to tape this down. Just what I've done is I've made certain that it fits into the grooves of where it did cut. This one's going to be the same way. You can see that it didn't cut all the way through. Actually, this is kind of nice that, not that it happened per se, but this way I can kind of give you a lesson on how to fix this when it happens to you. So again, I'm going to lay my die down to make sure that it fits into all the grooves. And once I've got it to where it needs to be, I'm going to go ahead and just tape it down just a little bit so that it doesn't move. I mean, I can tell that it's in the grooves, but I want to get a good clean cut on it. So let's go ahead and we're going to do this again and run it through. Get my top plate, crank it all the way through. Pull this back. I can move this out of the way. And the rest of these trees are cut. So this one's cut. Let me put these dies out of the way so that I don't lose them. And we'll pull this one off. And this one's cut as well. So we're good to go on our trees. So the next thing I wanted to do, and I'm going to show you, let me move that out of the way, is I'm looking at these pieces, and I got these pieces on this tree, and it's very easy to assemble. I mean, basically what you're doing is you're putting the next biggest, and then the next biggest, and then the next biggest, until you get to the top, and you've got your tree. Except, I can see the layers, but I really wanted more dimension to the layers. I just wanted it to pop a little bit more. So guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna try to make it pop. I'm gonna take my stamp pad, the white ink, and I've got daubers. I use daubers to ink edges. You can buy these daubers in the main catalog, but I'm gonna pull out my white, see if you can see this, my white dauber. And we're gonna play. You know, I might like it, I might not like it, but I just wanted to do something different. So we're gonna put basically some snow, if you will, on this tree. And I don't necessarily need to do all of the big tree, but I'm gonna practice with the big tree. But basically you put your dauber on and you just tap it in your ink, and then you're just gonna go along the edges. It's not in your face, meaning it's not real intense, but it's just enough that I'm hoping what will happen when we get this all put together, that it will stand out more than what it's doing right now. So I'm going around the edges. You can kind of see where I'm doing this. I'll hold it up for you to be able to see it closer in just a second. But it's just tap and just swipe it across the edges. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I don't know if you guys are able to see that or not, but there is some white ink on those edges. Maybe it'll stand out more once we get it all put together. So now I'm gonna do the next one, do the same thing. Get the ink on. Snow's not even anyway, so we'll just keep going around to get these all done. So while I'm doing this, next week, this is the last Facebook Live for the Merriest Trees. I'm only doing 2 weeks of Merriest Trees. Next week, we're moving into a totally different bundle. It's not necessarily Christmas. It's more winter that will take us into January as well. They're lovely. I'm gonna call them winter cards. But I will share more information about those cards later. But I did want you to know that this is the last week for the Merriest Trees. I'm really liking that. Hope you guys don't mind me exploring with you guys. It's kind of fun. It's like the first time I make it, okay, this is what we're gonna make. And then, you know, I get some time to actually look at it and stare at it for a while. And it's like, what else could I be doing? And I just decided that I wanted those layers to pop, and I think this is going to give me exactly what I'm looking for. So let's get this last little piece done. Get some good snow on it and its layer, and then we'll start to put the tree together. Okay, I think, let me get a little bit more right here. I think we're done with this one. Yes. Okay, so let's get this put away. I don't really clean this off. I just put it back in. I label it so that I can use it the next time. But you can see I do a lot of inking with my daubers. All right, let's start to glue this together. So, and I'm not putting it on dimensionals. I don't want that much dimension. I'll put dimensionals on it when I put it on the card, but I don't want dimensionals between the layers because there's, what, 6 layers? I didn't count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think, yeah, 6 layers. So let's go ahead and get this layer down. We'll start at the top. Oops. Okay. Make sure I get it even. I want it to look like one tree. All right, we'll go to the next one. And, you know, I picked this designer series paper because I wanted to look like it was in the snow. So it only makes sense that if it looks like it's snowing and I've got snow on the edges, that it just picks up that theme that I wanted with respect to it looking like a tree in the snow. Now, I know we don't see too many navy trees, but again, it's so fun to explore with color. You know, I used the Lost Lagoon for the first tree. It was kind of a green, so it fit in, but heck, that last one was pink. And I know that there's pink trees out there, not that grow wild, obviously, but I've seen pink trees in the store, white trees in the store. Don't know that I've ever seen a navy tree in the store, but you know, we can make a navy card. So, okay. What do you think? Doesn't that look much better? Look at the dimension on that compared to this other one. Okay, let's keep going. I've got my stamping done. I've got this. We're going to let that dry. We're going to decorate it in just a second, but let's go ahead and pull the rest of the card and get it put together. So we're going to go ahead and fold our base. And then I'm going to take my Night of Navy cardstock. I like sometimes when I do just a little bit of a border. So these borders are like 1/8 of an inch. You could do 1/4 of an inch, much like I did on the pink tree. But sometimes it's fun just to have a little hint of color popping out from your white, because I'm going to have that white card base, or I've got the white card base, the Night of Navy, and then I've got my embossed piece that I'm going to place on here as well, which will give me that little 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to put a little extra glue on here because this is an embossed piece, and it's got a lot of little nooks and crannies that the glue's got to settle into. So let me go ahead and get this centered as well. And then I just move it around till I'm happy with it. I don't have to be exact right at the beginning. Whoops, a little bit too much. I'm gonna cough. I've still got little remnants of a cold hanging around. Excuse me. Okay. Now it's time to start working on our tree. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my card base, or my tree base on. So like I did last time, take it, turn it over, and just put a little bit around right here, so that when I place this on, I've got some adhere, but I'm going to move it around a little bit. And this particular specialty paper, this Bedazzing, it has a texture to it, so it takes a little bit longer for the glue to set on it. Make sure it's even. It's like I'm high on one end. See, I'm pretending like I'm putting my tree up. Yeah, it needs to adhere just a little bit. My fingers are a little sticky too. And so I want to make sure, I might bring this back in and put it down. And then I can work with it a little bit on my silicone mat. Yeah, it's not sticking quite yet. And I'm getting glue everywhere. Hold on. Let me scooch this down just a little bit. Make sure I'm getting this straight. And give it a chance to dry. While it's doing that, let's work on our stars. So I did decide that I'm going to put the navy star behind my gold. I did gold on gold when I first made it, but I'm going to put the navy behind it. I like it so much, especially after doing that on the pink. So let me go ahead and get a little bit of glue down in each space so that we can capture that. I don't want to go crazy with the glue on this. Take my tweezers and it will help me get this laid down appropriately until I can get my fingers on it. Okay, there we go. Ooh, so pretty. Oh, it's going to be so pretty. All right, so we'll let that dry. Let's go ahead and we're going to start doing our little baubles. And the reason I'm calling them baubles, I mean, obviously we call them ornaments, but I was watching a YouTube video that somebody in the UK was utilizing this same set. It was totally different. It's not the same as this, but they were using this set and they were talking about the ornaments, and she called them baubles, and I love that. I think baubles is fun. Okay, so I'm just gonna start squirting glue in various areas on my tree so that I can go and pick up these ornaments. So I'm gonna just go all the way through, and it shouldn't take me any time at all to get these, because I'm gonna use my take your pick again with the putty end, and I'm gonna start picking up my ornaments and putting them on. So I'm gonna put one here, and then we'll do a longer one here, and one here, and we'll do another long one down here. Just kind of doing my thing, decorating the tree. I decorated, well, Ray and I decorated the house for Christmas. If you probably saw a Facebook post showing that, but we decorated the house for Christmas the Friday after Thanksgiving. So I did a lot of tree decorating and a lot of ornaments. We have 2 trees. We have one upstairs. Oh, I think that one's down, upside down. We have one upstairs and we have one downstairs. The one upstairs is more, it's more themed. A lot of the ornaments on the tree are ornaments that I made with fabric. And I wonder if that one's upside down too. I think I should turn that one around. And then the one downstairs is our family tree, and it's ornaments that we've collected over the years and the kids have made, and it's just a hodgepodge of just all different kinds of ornaments. And what's fun about that is, I mean, you can sit and stare at that tree for hours, literally, and see all different kinds of ornaments. Where the one upstairs, there's lots of different ornaments, but they're themed, and so they're all the same basically. Okay, excuse me. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and get this one on the card base in with dimensionals. So we're gonna pop it up. So let me go ahead and get my dimensionals down. Hopefully I didn't, let me look and check and see my baubles are okay. Yeah, my baubles are good. Yep, I think they're fine. All right, let's keep going. Let's put this one up here. We'll work our way down the tree on each side. One in the middle. And then of course I'm going to take a little one and I'm going to put it up here at the tree, or at the star. I brought the star down, I think, a little bit further on this tree than I did the other one. Take my pick, and I'm gonna start picking off all my backs. Gosh, how come I haven't been doing this before? Silly me. All right, too many. I gotta clean off my take your pick, and we'll start again. And pick, pick, pick. Are those coming off? Am I getting them? Yep. Couple more. This one didn't come off. Let me get this one, and we are good. Man, I'm gonna be doing this more often. That was just quick, quick, quick. Okay, let's go ahead and bring our card base out now. And we are going to center our tree on the card. With all the stars behind it. And my pretty little blue star. And this card's done. Now look at the difference. Can you tell the difference in the star at the top here? But also, can you see the dimension on the tree now that I've got snow on the tree versus how I don't have a snow on the tree. Sorry, I should bring them down a little bit. Anyway, I love both of them, but I'm partial to this one because it's got more dimension to it. I wanted my layers to stand out. So that is card number 3. Let me bring out the other 2 that we did. So that was the sample. This was the one we made. This was the sample. This is the one that we made. And the last one, they pretty much look the same. This was the sample. This was the one we made. We went edge to edge with that set. So I love making these cards and I love sharing them with you. I hope you guys have fun if you decide to do something like this. Let me go ahead and I'm going to bring my face back up so you guys can see me. And I just want to say thank you for joining me tonight. Even though I know tonight's recorded, you're going to see it tomorrow night. If you have any comments, like which ones you like best, or if you like the changes that I made, be sure to let me know. Leave some comments for me. The last day to order this kit, I believe, is December the 4th. I'll cut kits on the 5th and I'll get them in the mail to you on the 7th. A $40 order will get you the kit for free. A $50 order will get you the kit plus a new pack of embellishments. So if you liked the video, I'm really trying to grow this Facebook page, and I'm going to be posting to YouTube as well. I would love it if you guys would like. I would love it even more if you guys would share so that other people find me and can join us next time on our next Facebook Live. So I'll see you guys after my trip. Take care, everyone. Bye.